Hi, my name is Brianna Decker, and today we're going to go over the WebQuest activity that I made. I made it based off a 7th grade reading lesson, and the story I chose to do it off of was The Hobbit. The name of the lesson, I was trying to make it a little funny based off the WebQuest, so it's called Web, in parentheses, Quest of the Hobbit. And like I said, it's grade 7 reading, and it should be able to demonstrate comprehension of fictional text, which is based off SOL 7.5. And the learning objectives are that students will be able to describe the elements of a narrative structure, including setting, character development, plot structure, theme, and conflict. Students will also be able to make inferences, reflect, and draw conclusions based on the text, and students should be able to do this with a 75% accuracy. So now we're going to look at the WebQuest I made through Adobe Spark. And here it is, The Hobbit's Quest in the world of 7th graders. So we start out with a quick little introduction for the students. And I just made it interesting so when they read it, it's not just directions, but it's more putting it in terms of they're going on the quest with Bilbo and Gandalf and the dwarves, and then just kind of telling them what they're looking for, which is setting, character development, plot structure, theme, conflict, which is just a few examples. And then they're going to kind of draw conclusions based on these parts of the literature, the different elements, like what would happen if this was different and stuff like that. And so because of this, they're going to understand their comprehension skills are going to increase, and hopefully their metacognition when they reflect. So then a little short review of the story, just for teachers' help too, so they know where they are in the story, and so the kids can kind of remember, okay, this is what I've read so far. And so Bilbo and the dwarves and Gandalf are starting off on their quest, and so then we're going to have the students work together as a group, and they're going to click this link, what would you bring on a quest? So, alright, here we go. Okay, so got a little Google Doc that they can collaborate on called What Would You Bring? And as a team, they're going to make their top 5 items. So each student will have a laptop or a tablet or something and be able to access this when they click that link. And then as a teacher, I already have divided them up into teams. This is just an example I did. Natalie, Sarah, John, Logan would be in a team that I did, and obviously there would be more teams in the class, and then they could each type like what they would bring and then kind of discuss on their slide until they narrow it down to the top 5 things. So that's just a little exercise to work together and to get them kind of thinking about that. So now we're going to go back to the Spark. So now we're getting into the main part of the lesson. So your task, if you choose to accept it, is as follows. The students are going to define the following literary terms and then put them in terms of the story. So the example I did was setting. So we defined setting and then said the setting for the Hobbit, and then as it changes throughout the story. So then they're just going to work on a few of these just to get some basic vocabulary down, what character development, plot structure, etc. is, so that for the rest of the book, for the rest of the unit on literary terms and fictional stories, they'll kind of have that to refer back to. And then this is the part where they're going to be drawing conclusions. Pretend one of the aspects above was different in The Hobbit in your teams from earlier discussed. So they can get into groups and just discuss, like, if the setting was different, say it was set in current time, what would it look like? Excuse me. Now, this is where they're going to take a little time to evaluate about themselves. So I made this little rubric and they can look on it. Maybe talk with their partner or their team and say, how much should I contribute? How much should I do problem solving and stuff like that, so they can kind of think about what they did, and so also when the teacher grades it, they kind of know where the teacher's coming from. And here's just some reflection questions. So they're thinking, what would I do differently? What did I like? What did I not like? And then thinking about how they worked with others. How did others help me? How did I help others? And then a question here for the teacher to look at and say, how could I do this different? How could I better my WebQuest? So I hope you enjoyed my WebQuest of The Hobbit for 7th grade literature.